What is up, you beautiful people out there on the internet? It is I, Michael Shockman. Welcome back to the DM Shockman Institute. Here in today's episode, we will be covering the final class in the PHB class list, that being the Wizard. Buckle up, this is going to be one hell of a wild ride. I'm hoping to keep it under 15 minutes, but we'll see how it goes. Two really quick things before we get started, because we want to get started really quick. First, if you wouldn't mind doing me a really quick favor, it'll just take a second. Please smash the like button and hit the subscribe button. It helps out immensely here on the YouTube algorithm. So thank you so much. I appreciate it in advance. Secondly, please comment down below. Are you a necromancer? Are you an abjurer? Are you one of those blasty boys, the evokers? Or do you like to see into the future and with the powers of divination? Leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. And with that out of the way, folks, we are going to dive into today's episode of 5e Simplified with the Wizard. Here we go. Alright, so first off, the Wizard gets a d6. They're one of the, I think, only 2 classes in the entire game that get a d6 to their hit die. They get no armor proficiencies. They get access to a number of different skills, as well as a number of different proficiencies in terms of languages and whatnot. Check that out down below, or in the PHB. Yeah, they get spellcasting as a key feature, although their spellcasting kind of varies depending on their arcane tradition. One thing about wizards is that they start off with a certain number of spells, and they get to learn 2 spells innately every single time they level up. However, unlike any other class in the entire game, wizards get the opportunity to copy down spells into a spellbook. Now that's a big thing. The spellbook for a wizard is their life. Like, holy crap. Check out some of the links in the description of this video to a couple of videos, of at least one video, on the importance of a wizard's spellbook and the different types of spellbooks, hosted by, that video, I think, being hosted by AJ Pickett of the Mighty Gluestick channel. Love you, AJ. But yeah, there are a bunch of other features that they each get. Check out the links and the, or not the links, but the screenshots up here and up here for the different features of the, and things of that nature of the wizard, and then we will dive right into the 8 subclasses. So here we go. Check it out. We'll be right back. Got it? Good. Now we're going to move directly into the subclasses, the arcane traditions, that is, of the wizard. Starting first at the top of the list with the abjurer, those who defend, those who ward, and those who protect. These guys are like the cops and the police and the FBI of the wizarding world. They are very adept at making sure that people don't go where they're not supposed to, and they're directly in competition with evokers. Next, we have the conjurers, those who specialize in moving things from one place to another, kind of the masters of transportation magic. They specialize at making sure you or themselves or others can really rack up those frequent flyer miles. Next on the list, we have the diviner, which are those who are really good at predicting what's to come in the weave of fate. You can find diviners practicing and plying their trade in all kinds of markets, whether it be a farming community, whether it be a big city where there is a type of trading exchange of some kind, or even something as simple as like a life coach or a counselor who counsels those who are just simply looking for good times to get married, good times to have a baby. The same basic thing applies to all. That kind of leads us into the next one, which is the enchanter, those who enchant, those who beguile. These guys are very good and are very easily able to apply their trade as therapists, diplomats, and those who calm tense waters in high-strung situations. You could easily find an enchanter equally as part of a local counseling bureau, as well as being a diplomat in a royal entourage. Next, we have the evokers. These guys are the guys who blast with arcane fire, frost, and lightning. These guys are like the special forces and heavy infantry slash blasters of the wizarding world. Would not mess with them, especially with their overchannel ability. Check it out in the thing here. You can definitely find evoker wizards directly competing with abjurers, both in terms of magical prowess and magical application, and they are generally a pretty tough cookie to deal with and a tough nut to crack. Definitely a good class to play if you want to blast things. Highly recommend it. Next, we have the illusionist. The illusionists are people who befuddle, who lie, who diplomatically change words and images to suit the betterment of their employers. You can find illusionists readily applying their trade in magician schools, equally acting as tricksters, magicians, diplomats, mediators in diplomatic talks, all kinds of different stuff like that. Highly recommend it for any of those things. Next, we have the necromancer. The necromancer is the warden and person with the and mage with the power over life and death. These guys traditionally are known as the kind of evil people, kind of the edgy boys. But more importantly, they can and often I think should be viewed as the people who, as much as mages or as much as clerics can and priests can be used to help raise people from the dead and cure diseases. It just so happens that because of common misconceptions, they're often viewed as untoward and unsavory. Last but not least, we have the transmuters, the people who turn one thing into another. These guys can transmute and turn their hand at working for governments and organizations to turn lead into gold, to turn people into other people, and to turn certain animals into other types of creatures. Last but not least, we have the summary, which brings us into this. The summary for this is: the wizard is a very intense toolkit, which I highly recommend you check out if you want to be able to do a number of different things, have a very large amount of spellcasting. The one caveat to that, and one thing I would warn you about, is that the wizard is a very complex class, so I wouldn't recommend it for the beginner player or even an intermediate player per se. As such, I would have to rate the wizard as the sole class that is in the PHB that is a pure expert level class. Would highly recommend them. I love them very much. Play a wizard if you want to be able to have a buffet menu of magical abilities. If you want to play a Harry Potter or a Harry Dresden or a Caleb Widowgast if you're a Critical Role fan, just know that you are going to run into some interesting challenges by playing one. Thank you so much, folks. I'm Michael Shockman. I've been your host and commentator. Please follow the links down in the description. You know what they go. You know what they do. You know where they go. You know what to do. And until next time, guys, I'm Michael Shockman. I've been your host and commentator. And remember, as always, keep it real, keep it safe, keep it healthy, and we'll see you guys again soon in the Institute. Bye-bye, guys.